Netherlands go into their final game of the group stage campaign with their fate not entirely in their hands, but they can put a fight for the Super 8 spot were they to get a win over Sri Lanka. We build up to the last game in Group D on Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout, powered by Dish TV Watcho, with Farvez Mahroof joining us to look ahead to that game. Farvez, thank you for your time. The Dutch, it's a slim chance for them. They do need Nepal to do them a favor and beat Bangladesh. There is some net run rate margins involved as well, but they go in with so much to fight for.
Absolutely. And the Dutch will be hoping, seeing how Nepal fought against South Africa, that Nepal could hurt Bangladesh. And, on the day, Nepal can be good as well. I said it before too, that I've seen Nepal cricket for a while. I've known those players for a while. They are definitely capable. Crunch game, Bangladesh under pressure, Nepal nothing to lose, playing for the pride. So I reckon that's going to be an interesting game. And yeah, it's all to play for. Dutch have played really well. They were quite unfortunate in the last game against Bangladesh, how they lost. They lost in the 15th over, just one over, where Richard Hussain picked up a couple of wickets, changed the fortune of the game. But apart from that, Dutch has been very, very, very impressive right throughout this World Cup.
Yeah, they will have to have one eye on that game. Bangladesh versus Nepal in Kingstown, starting just about an hour before Netherlands take the field in St. Lucia against Sri Lanka. But what will inspire the Dutch, or what will give them confidence, is that they have pushed Sri Lanka quite often in the games these guys have played at global events. You think of the 2022 T20 World Cup, you think of the 23 ODI World Cup qualifiers, and the ODI World Cup proper. Netherlands have pushed Sri Lanka. They need to build on that template to win here.
Yes, definitely. The Dutch have definitely pushed Sri Lanka to the core. Remember qualifier the league game up in Bulawayo, they pushed Sri Lanka right to the corner. And in the finals, of course, it was one-sided. Up in the 50-over World Cup game, if I remember right, game in Lucknow, Sri Lanka chasing 270. They huffed and puffed and somehow get over the line. So the memories will be good for Dutch, and they will have a lot of confidence. Though they lost to Bangladesh in the last game, they've been playing some fantastic cricket. They pushed South Africa right to the corner. It went down to the wire. So similarly, Sri Lanka will be knowing that the Netherlands will be coming all guns blazing. So Sri Lanka just have to play for their potential. I think if Sri Lanka play for the potential, they will be good enough against Netherlands. But seeing how Sri Lanka has been performing and not played a game for a while, maybe a bit rusty coming into this game. I mean, you can't just write off Netherlands. They have a fantastic team.
And if we were to look at where this game could be decided, Sarves, the Dutch bowlers have been impressive in every outing. Sri Lanka's batting was shaky in those two games that they lost to South Africa and Bangladesh. That should be where this game is decided.
I think so too. I think the power play is going to be very, very crucial for Sri Lanka when they are batting. Dutch in the practice game as well, when they played against Sri Lanka up in Florida, they took a few wickets in the power play. So I reckon if Dutch to hurt Sri Lanka in this game, if they could pick up a few wickets in the power play with a wonderful batting order, not so confident batting lineup, they could really hurt Sri Lanka. This is where it gets trickier. It's going to be an evening game, maybe some swing in the evening in St. Lucia. Never know. So in case if there is movement and if Dutch can hit the right lens, actually they could hurt Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka, on the other hand, will be knowing the threat what Dutch will be bringing on. So they will be quite circumspect when it comes to playing the power play. They won't probably go hammer and tongue in the first few overs. They probably want to see that start, set up the tone nicely, lay the foundation for the big hitters in the middle overs to come. So it's all to play for World Cup cricket. Yash, we've seen many games going down to wire. We just saw South Africa going down to the wire against Nepal. USA beating Pakistan. It's been a wonderful World Cup. It's a successful World Cup as far as I'm concerned. Yes, few games have, washed out due to rain. Some big talks about divvy up pitches. But overall, I have enjoyed this World Cup purely because the minnows have given lots of trouble and headache for the big boys.
And just from a Sri Lankan perspective, they are checking out of this World Cup a lot sooner than they would have wished to. But three players who haven't got a game so far in Shamira, Madhushanka, and Velalage, would you like to see game time for one, if not more of them?
Temptation will be there. Definitely, if you take Villalage, so of course, temptation will be there to give him a game instead of one of the spinners. I mean, Mahesh Theekshana instead. But I think Mahesh Theekshana's mistiness against associate country will hold a key. So I reckon Villalage is very unlucky to miss out because I thought he's the future. I should give him a chance whenever it's possible. But pride at stake. You need to win somehow, at least a game before you exit the World Cup. So I reckon Sri Lanka will go full strength. They will play horses for courses depending on the surface. But definitely one change I would like to see is giving a game to Dushman Chamira. I mean, he'll be raring to go. Senior player, have not played a game. Was part of the IPL winning KKR team. So lots of pride in him as well. So I reckon Sri Lanka need to unleash Dushman Chamira in this game, especially being a night game, hoping that the ball will skid on at St. Lucia. So Dushman Chamira for yes. Rest of it, I doubt it that there's going to be many changes in this game.
All right, let's see if Sri Lanka can go out on a high. They do also need a win if they are to avoid a bottom of the points table finish in Group B. Thank you so much, Parvez Maroof, for setting up Netherlands versus Sri Lanka for us.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक OTT के दाम पे सारे OTT शान से।
Watch